That video we've been seeing over and over and over for 3 weeks of the hand against the wall. It was Hannah Ann. I called it. I knew it. Thank you.
What the fuck? Is this allowed? What the fuck? Is that allowed?
Stop. Welcome to talking about episode 9 of Peter's season of The Bachelor. It's fantasy suite week. Yikes, that was really uncomfortable. We pick up where we left off with Peter and Madison talking after the rose ceremony.
If next week you were to sleep with somebody else, it would be really hard for me to really move forward in this.
When they all show up in Australia and they're all in the same place, does this happen every year where they all have to stay in the same room at this point?
All three of us will be living together. Awkward. So awkward.
At producers, you have the budget to do this. You can keep them housed separately now.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
So Hannah Ann is the first date. They go jet skiing. Peter says this is true love. And Hannah Ann pretty much says she's understanding of what this week is. She pretty much knows her boyfriend is going to be sleeping with other people.
Hoo-ah! Yes, 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 hoo-ah!
Peter tells Hannah Ann about what her dad had said, don't tell Hannah Ann you love her unless, you're sure. And he's but I said it because I was sure. And I was but are you sure? Because there are 2 other girls still here. Hannah Ann says that looking at Peter is like looking at her own heart, and she says that she can see a future with him.
I will always want you. Soldier boy, tell.
They go to the fantasy suite, and immediately Hannah Ann identifies the dessert, and the way she gets excited about dessert is the way I feel about desserts.
Go for it, Poopy. Have a chocolate bag.
Peter even calls her the most perfect woman. Get the clip, finally, of the hand against the glass, and it's Hannah Ann. There was much speculation on the internet this week about it. Victoria and Madison are talking back at the house they all have to share. This is uncomfortable. Who is the new editor? That is showing so much of the other girls during the date. I'm oh no. And then the next morning when Hannah Ann returns back to them, it's just so awkward. She's it went really well, and immediate death stares from both Madison and Victoria. And then Victoria goes to get ready for her date, and Hannah Ann and Madison are just this is awkward. That is the best word for this entire episode was awkward.
And release all of those sounds that are trapped in your mind.
Peter's still frustrated and feels kind of reserved around Victoria after their last conversation where he didn't even get to meet her family.
An actual
Because Victoria keeps walking away from him, but they decide to just move forward from that incident. And Peter says it's never going to be a boring relationship. Yup, because y'all keep fighting. At least they've identified communication as an issue. Victoria's this date's so great, we haven't even fought yet. They do have a pretty good conversation about what they've gone through, and Peter says he appreciates how they've gone through so much together. Flashback to the house where Hannah Ann and Madison are talking about Victoria and Peter's date. As counterintuitive as it seems, Hannah Ann's kind of right in this situation. They knew what they were walking into. This isn't a surprise that the fantasy suite week is happening. And then we go back to Victoria, who's I love him so much, and is crying. And then go to Peter, who says he's in love with all 3 of them. And then Victoria returns home. The girls trying not to pry into each other's dates is hilarious to me, because all they want to know is the only thing they're not going to ask each other. So it's time for Madison's date, and so Peter took Hannah Ann to the beach, he took Victoria to a waterfall, and now he's taking Madison to a giant tower of stairs. And then they're going to have to take those stairs on the outside of the building.
Hell no, to the no, 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 hell to the no.
They go up 1,000,000 stories. Madison's just I feel so safe with him up here. Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why?
He cannot save you up there. Let's be realistic. Madison says she realizes that she's in love with him, so she's the last one to make this realization out of the 3 girls. Meanwhile, back at the house, Victoria and Hannah Ann are now talking about Madison, and Hannah Ann's kind of relaying the conversations that she and Madison had to Victoria. It's just so uncomfortable. So they're at their dinner date. Madison says she's leaving if he slept with the other girls, and Peter's immediately destroyed because he did, and she's you can't have done that, and then proposed to me 6 days later. I didn't realize that it really was this close of a time crunch. I kind of thought they had a week in between those dates for some reason, but no, this is all in 1 week. So Peter says this makes sense, but he's honest about what happened with the other dates. And he says, like, I can see the two of us together at the end, but he said he could also see that with the other two girls. So Maddie pulls a Victoria and leaves the table. Peter's crying, Madison's crying. Madison says she feels let down because she told Peter that she might be leaving, and she's like, well, he made those decisions anyway, knowing that I might leave. And she's just kind of frustrated and mad, so this is the first time we've seen Madison mad on this show. And then Peter comes to find her and says he's so sorry and says he can't lose her. And then Madison walks away cryptically, and we don't know if things are over or not. The preview had so much to say. So Madison left? Question mark? There's only one rose on the table, which makes no sense because we still have to have his hometowns, right? And they're asking, like, where's Madison? So in theory, there should be 2 roses on the table, or else the next one's the finale. And we know we have 2 weeks left. Also, there will be the Women Tell All, which I'm very excited about. I want to see Tammy and Kelsey go at it. I want to hear Natasha's views on everything. I'm pretty sure Alea's gonna get pummeled into the ground. So now that we're seeing the clips closer together, with Madison leaving, and then Peter's mom saying that don't let her go.
Don't let her go. Don't let her go. Bring her home to us.
Like, I'm pretty sure she means Madison. It doesn't make sense to me at this point for it to be Hannah B, which has been like the other big theory. Do we think Madison left? Because halfway through I was like, Madison's the winner, I think, but now I'm kind of thinking that she's gone. I think Hannah Ann's gonna win and Madison's gonna be the next Bachelorette. I don't think Victoria could handle being the Bachelorette emotionally, because that would be an interesting roller coaster, but it seems like it might be a bit much. Do you think Madison left, or do you think she's coming back for the rose ceremony and it's just the editing that makes it look like she's gone for good? Oh, I have no idea. Please like this video if you liked it. Click subscribe so we can talk about this more when the next episode comes out. My name's Caitlin. Thanks for watching. Bye!